My name is Franklin, and I'm an atheist. I've read a lot about religion, but reading tells you little about how it's actually practiced. 76% of people in the United States claim some sort of religion. Christians, Buddhists, Jedi. What is it about their religion that resonates with who they are? How does their religion make them a better person? And what do they think is still missing about how we understand the world? My goal is to grow my knowledge and wither my ignorance. I think it's important to talk to them and find out what they believe.
No beginning, no ending, continuation, unity. We are one, we are interconnected. We are one, we are whole. We are one, we are whole.
Today I'll be speaking with Reverend WonGong of the Won Buddhist Meditation Temple in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Reverend WonGong has founded 2 Won Buddhist temples in North Carolina and is a frequent guest lecturer on Won Buddhism philosophy and meditation. Won, in this context, means circle, symbolizing that all are one. It does not mean Hong Kong dollar Buddhism, despite what Google Translate says. We're still in a pandemic, so I attended the service virtually. Sitting silently for 15 minutes is not something I'm good at. I did not achieve Nirvana. I don't even think I achieved Silverchair. So let's find some inner peace and talk about Won Buddhism. Hello and welcome to the What They Believe series. Today we're talking to Reverend WonGong of the Won Buddhist Meditation Temple. Thank you for joining us, Reverend Gong.
Thank you for having me.
Buddhism, much like every religion I've looked into, comes in several varieties. With which one do you identify?
So it is called Won Buddhism, and there are 2 main streams of Buddhism called Theravada Buddhism and Mahayana Buddhism. Won Buddhism has more element of Mahayana. And what makes Won Buddhism unique is that Won Buddhism is a new Buddhist movement started in Korea in 1916. Won Buddhism has incorporated the philosophical elements of Confucianism, Taoism, and Buddhism.
Did Won Buddhism just take the parts that were compatible from Confucianism and Taoism?
Yes, if you study and practice with Won Buddhism, you get to taste the flavor of Taoist approach for meditation, and also Confucianist philosophical and cultural background about how you can maintain good household and grace of laws, and valuing keeping peace and order in our society as we live and coexist each other.
What led you to become a Won Buddhist Reverend?
My hometown Reverend, she encouraged me to become a mother of all, rather than a mother for one family. So when she encouraged me like that, that sounded pretty cool. And also I was attracted to the female leadership in Won Buddhist communities.
So what separates Won Buddhism from other forms of Buddhism?
Won Buddhism is often called as reformative Buddhism for this modern era with more pragmatic and accessible approach. And if you ever visit our temple or if you saw our altar, you don't get to see Buddha statue. Instead, you see a circle enshrined on an altar. So in Korean, that's the difference. So in your question, can you tell the difference?
Yes.
Won Buddhism and Buddhism. In front of Buddhism, there is a one. One means a circle.
Yes.
So
Won Buddhism is about 100 years old, and Buddhism as a whole is around 2,500 years old. Won would be considered relatively new in comparison. Is there any schism between the Won Buddhists and Buddhism at large?
Won Buddhism is actually 104 years old this year. Actually, I
okay.
would say 104 years young comparing to the 2,500 years old traditional Buddhism, as you said. There is no conflict. Actually, it's beautifully complementing each other. Won Buddhism is founded by Korean teacher in Korea, while traditional Buddhism started by Gautama Buddha in India long time ago. So definitely there is Korean culture more embedded, and the Indian culture is, the ancient Indian culture is embedded. However, traditional Buddhism, wherever it goes to different area and countries, also it emerges with their own culture. So each country has a beautiful flavor and culture and practice of Buddhism. While traditional Buddhism started from the deep contemplation about the suffering of individual existence and focuses on how to liberate the suffering, Won Buddhist approach is a little bit different, more towards societal suffering arising from material and technological advancement. So you can tell, because it's fairly young, a religious or Buddhist movement is more sensitive with the current modern issues, especially so much suffering and delusion from material and technological advancement. So the founding motto of Won Buddhism goes like this: with the great opening of materialism, let there be a great opening of spirituality. In that way, will not be enslaved by the material power.
In most religious doctrine, there's a belief in an individual everlasting spirit or soul. What are your beliefs in people possessing a soul?
We believe, yes, there is a soul, and or when we die, we see that as like a change in clothing. When you have your clothing, you wear that all the time, and then one day it's gonna be worn out. Then you throw away your old clothes and you get the new clothing, right? So same way, that's how we see the relationship between our soul and body.
Going further with your analogy, the getting the new clothes, is that just an afterlife, or is that like reincarnation, where you actually come back as another person?
Yeah, you can call it afterlife or rebirth, reincarnation, however you want.
And with that in mind, can you tell me anything about the burial rituals?
No set protocol for how to dispose of our body,
Okay.
but we honor the departed soul, one's life, and the grieving of the surviving family through deliverance services for 49 days. So 49 days is kind of like, it can be Asian culture, but also Buddhist tradition. 49 days is more like a transitional day when the soul departed from your body. So during that time, we offer, services by honoring, acknowledging all the effort that person strived for. And also, if there is any unfinished business and strong regrets, we try to really help guide to release. So that does not mean I can see the soul in front of me, but you are more, with your wholehearted effort, prayer, and that energy, you are dedicating 1 hour once a week. So it's total 7 times the service. But also the beautiful thing, the family who lost their beloved family member or deceased one, their friends, even their dog or cat, if they're really, really attached, they offer this deliverance service, through prayer, meditation, chanting, also by writing a letter, whatever you want to say, if there is any words they want to express. So in that way, it can be a healing journey for the remaining family.
In Judeo-Christian tradition and in other traditions, there's a belief in sin, that you can do something wrong and God notices. Is there a concept of sin in Won Buddhism?
If you plant an unwholesome seed of speech, action, that you harvest the consequences. That is called the truth of cause and effect. And after understanding this principle of cause and effect, and then, okay, I'm going to receive the negative outcome because I did that. However, if you still feel guilty about what you did, about your wrongdoings in the past, you feel heavy and still regretful, still you replay what happened in the past in your mind and over whenever there is triggering moments, then you are still suffering from the sin that you created. So the basic belief in Buddhism, in Won Buddhism, the wrongdoings or the guilt or sin arise from our mind, arise from ignorance of our mind. So when we let go of our thoughts about wrongdoings, because wrongdoing, whatever the action, is already gone far a long time ago, but our mind is still holding it, then I'm still in that world of wrongdoings. So when we let go of our thought about wrongdoings, we can release our heavy guilt from our past wrongdoings. And that is called true repentance. Before original true nature, there is no wrongdoing, there is no guilt, there is no sin. There is no unwholesome words reflect to original nature, then I can really let go of that guilt. So I do my best to express my forgiveness to you, asking forgiveness to you, and then also I let go of the heavy feeling internally. So external release, internal release, and that's how we practice to release our any heavy guilt, sense of guilt, or you can call it sin if you like. Yeah.
In your opinion, is Won Buddhism a religion, a philosophy, or a way of life?
Depending on your interest, and then you're feeling that you feel more connected, you can call it religion or philosophy or way of life. To me, I feel very much it's way of life.
What does nirvana mean to you?
Nirvana, it literally means extinguishing the fire. The fire is extinguished, or there is no more fuel to burn. So you are really totally at rest, just doing nothing, and total rest and peace. That's what nirvana literally means. But also in Buddhism, nirvana can be used when someone passed away, someone died, because you work, you try to do something and try to take care of yourself and work hard and every day, take care of your mind, body. So that's doing something. But then when you have a last moment, and then you're done, and then finally you are in peace and rest. So we say, he or she entered nirvana.
Do you have a favorite story or quote from one Buddhist canon or scripture?
Oh, there are many, but one of them is, the story, there is a lay disciple of meeting someone who is practicing Catholicism. And this Catholic adherent asked, do you know the creator? And then this Catholic practitioner said, God is creator, but what about in your tradition? And this student couldn't answer. So our founding teacher said, if you ever meet that Catholic practitioner friend, you can tell your friend again, in your friend's practice tradition, God is creator, but here we are our creators. Our mind is creator of our life. So my favorite koan contemplation topic is all things are the mind's creation. All things are the mind's creation. When I am happy and everything, even moon, sun, trees, flowers, they look happy. If I feel sad, they look sad. Oh. So my minds can really create the lens and perspective how I look at the world. In exactly same situation, half full, half empty. my mind can create it as a half full or a half empty. I'm so happy that I have half full glass, or I feel so sad and worried, sick because I have half empty glass. So all things are mind's creation, and that's very simple but powerful daily reminder that, as one of my favorite quote.
I understand that there are 4 founding mottos of Won Buddhism, and I want to know what they mean to you. This comes from the principal book on Won Buddhism.
So frankly, I'm very impressed that you found that, founding mottos from our book. And I'm impressed by your very thorough research preparing for this interview. The first teaching motto is called Everywhere Buddha Image and Every Act Buddha Offering. This is actually another my favorite part of the teachings in Won Buddhism. However, it's very, very difficult to achieve. Everywhere Buddha image. So traditional Buddhist temples have a beautiful Buddha image, right? So this is the one part Won Buddhism was heavily grounded and anchored by traditional Buddhism as well. So if you go to the Buddha image, if you go to the temple, you see a lot of people. Can you see? I like this beautiful little, palms together. And then you bow to the Buddha, and then we bow to human beings, bow to, each other. If you go to traditional Buddhist temple, you bow to Buddha and ask for your wish coming true, and believing Buddha has a power to realize your wishes. And so that has a little bit more like a Buddha worshipping element. Each country, the Buddhism is in a way incorporated and immersed into indigenous belief and practice, because people need a kind of higher power when they feel vulnerable and when they need someone or some power to rely, count on. So you pray and bow and make a wish in front of Buddha statue. So as soon as you go to the, stand in front of Buddha statue, especially beautifully decorated and golden Buddha statue, how do you feel? You feel focused, with awe, you feel sublime, and just you're going to be respectful in front of Buddha, right? You're not going to say swears in front of Buddha, right? No, you feel automatically kind of very yourself together, centered, and very respectful in front of Buddha. So that's the idea. Everywhere the Buddha image means everywhere Buddha. So you are right in front of me, you are Buddha. And this microphone that I'm using is a Buddha. Because if I'm not treating this microphone with respect and care, then I can easily break this microphone. This computer is the same. Anyone in front of me, anyone that I'm interacting, they are Buddha. So that's what it means, everywhere Buddha.
And is it son? Is it timeless son and placeless son?
Yes, sun means timeless sun. Sun means meditation or Zen. In Japanese, it's called Zen. Have you heard of Zen? Zen
Yes.
Buddhism? Yeah, it's the same. In Korean, sun, timeless sun, placeless sun. Can you guess what that means?
Does that mean it can happen anywhere at any time? Is that what it means?
Yes, it's very similar to the everywhere Buddha, everywhere, every act Buddha offering. So timeless sun, timeless meditation. So people who like to meditate, they have usually morning meditation time, or afternoon meditation, or evening before going to go to bed, meditation time. So meditation doesn't happen to be only in meditation hall or meditation temple or meditation center. Meditation can happen anywhere, anytime. That's what it means, timeless and placeless meditation.
And for the I've actually never seen the word suchness before, but one suchness in action and rest, wholeness in both spirit and flesh.
Suchness. So in other words, you can say no coming, no going. One suchness, no coming, no going. A door can be exit, or it can be entrance, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's called non-duality. Non-duality. So we tend to separate. Oh, I am so busy. Oh, I'm so bored. I have nothing to do. Right? We tend to separate. So whether we are in action or we're doing something or doing nothing, our mind does not get swayed by either, lots of activity, hyperactivity, or no activity. That is no up and down. The phenomenal world, our physical body engage with action or doing nothing and taking a break or vacation, but our mind, whether we are in the vacation beach or in a very busy daily activity, our mind maintains suchness, that calm, clear, grounded, the equanimity. And the next one is wholeness of both spirit and flesh. That means, probably you noticed, Franklin, as you interview many the religious spiritual practitioners, so much we're talking about spiritual part of life, spirit, but flesh means body. It's important to take care of our body very well. So both spirit and body, mind and body, both, wholeness. When we take a good care of our body, it affects taking care of our minds well. When you take care of our mind well, then it really helps our good health and sound mind body. They are not separable. So that's what it means, a wholeness of both spirit and flesh.
And the last one listed here was Buddhadharma is, and I think I'm saying that right, Buddhadharma is daily life, and daily life is Buddhadharma. I can separate it and pretty much guess, but can you just explain?
Yeah, go ahead and guess. Now I think because, we talk about the three other founding mottos, you can see a lot of overlaps.
I'm not exactly sure what Dharma means.
Yes. Dharma means teachings of truth. Any teachings of truth. Any teachings that guide you to understand and to enlighten to truth. That's Dharma. But Dharma doesn't have to be a Buddhist Dharma. We can learn Dharma from nature. We learn Dharma from harmful action from people. We can learn Dharma. Dharma is everywhere. But Dharma also can be learned from our meditation, from our contemplation, and from our application to action. Buddhadharma literally can be teachings of Buddha. The teachings of Buddha, practicing the teachings of Buddha is daily life. Daily life is Buddhadharma. So learning and practicing the teaching of Buddhadharma is not confined only in a temple or some meditation centers. Everyday life, we can learn, we can apply, and then we can practice. Well, I was going to use some prompt and I forgot.
Oh.
A teenager made this. She said, this is WonGong, and then there's a circle symbol of truth. And then someone made the circle with the wax, the beeswax.
And that is to symbolize that it's a circle, so it never ends, so that it's
yeah. Circle represent no beginning, no ending, and circle means one, and a circle also represent emptiness. But the circle really is a symbol of Buddha's mind. So instead of enshrining Buddha statue, we enshrine a circle. If you take a picture of enlightened mind, then closest symbol is a circle. But circle itself is just symbol. This is not real truth. Circle is a truth, symbol of truth. Circle is the symbol of our true nature. It's beyond words and speech. But let's describe anyway. Circle. And in our true nature, we have our family, our life, our body, our thought, our belief, but they are all transient, temporary. The truth is they are temporary. There's nothing we can say that's mine. So that's the philosophy of no self, no self. The circle, the empty circle represent emptiness of ego, emptiness of self. So when we reflect on that, isn't it so wonderful, liberating?
Oh, just so you know, I have no problem being the low man on the totem pole. That phrase was popularized in the 1930s and is a misinterpretation of the meaning. For totems that represent people, the bottom one is the most important, and the one you make first. It supports the other ones. It holds them up. It was an honorific to be the low man on the totem pole. The United States Armed Forces has an organization called NORAD, and NORAD uses a system called DEFCON for defense condition. DEFCON 5 is the one you should hope for. It's the lowest level of military readiness. For the record, the United States has never been at DEFCON 1, not even for that event you're thinking about, whatever it is that you're thinking about right now. Thanks for watching, and may the road rise with you.
The end. Bye.